Now, polling stations are open in Egypt for a presidential election overshadowed by war in neighboring Gaza and the near certainty that President Abdel Fattah el-Sissi will win a third term. The former general was among the first to cast a ballot in a vote that runs through Tuesday. Over the last decade, his government has cracked down on dissent, leaving only opposition candidates without name recognition as challengers. Long lines were the rule in Cairo as voters waited their turn. The worsening economy is a key issue, but few expect significant change after the votes are counted.
Abu Hussein feels the plight of Egyptians every day. He has fewer and fewer customers at his vegetable stall.
People are not doing well. The prices we're seeing are not normal. Sugar's expensive, everything is. It's hard for everyone. No one has enough money, not even those with a salary.
Egypt is in deep economic crisis. The World Bank says half of Egyptians live in poverty or are at risk of poverty. Food prices have risen by 60% in just a year.
el-Sissi was extremely popular. But the kind of endless endemic economic crises that have impoverished so many Egyptians and significantly eaten away at the standard of living of most of the population has also eaten away at his popularity.
Another reason for discontent, billions are flowing into large infrastructure projects, part of a new Egypt el-Sissi is promising. In addition, the country currently uses 70% of tax revenue to pay off foreign debt, money that's missing for health and education. In 2013, el-Sissi seized power as head of the army. Back then, he was hailed by many as the saviour of the nation. But not much of that euphoria remains today. Under his rule, the number of political prisoners has increased dramatically. Human rights and civil rights have almost ceased to exist.
We've seen a deepening of the regime's control over the economy, which has contributed to the impoverishment of the population, and the building of an array of new prisons to house the extraordinary number of prisoners that they have arrested and hold many times without even charges or trials in pretrial detention that can last years.
Internationally, Egypt is seen as an important anchor of stability in the region and mediates in the war between Israel and Hamas. That's benefited el-Sissi domestically, but turnout is still expected to be low. Opposition candidates are as good as invisible. His is the only face to be seen on billboards. Even before the election, el-Sissi's victory seems certain.
For more on this, let's cross over to AFP journalist Bahira Amin in Cairo. Hello, Bahira. So Egypt is facing the most severe financial crisis in its recent history. So tell me, why is the incumbent favourite to win the election?
So a third term for the incumbent is all but certain. And what's key to know is that it's both despite and because of the unrelenting economic crisis Egyptians are facing. So there is a very real sense of frustration amongst Egyptians. Inflation is currently at 38.5%, figures show today. Prices are rising by the week, if not the day. National debt has tripled. Egypt is the second highest country at risk of debt crisis. So there is more frustration than there was in the two previous elections, Sisi won and landslide victories. But that said, the former army chief is not without his supporters. His promise to restore stability and economic prosperity for his hardline supporters, they feel that has come true. His economic reforms, though brutal, have put Egypt on the right path. He's credited engineering a return to calm and public safety, and especially with Egypt sandwiched between wars in Sudan to the south and Gaza to the east, that ethos holds more sway. On the other hand, rights groups have said that this is in no way free or fair elections. His three opponents are relative unknowns, as you've said. Their campaigns have been lackluster, despite being political veterans in their own right. And so what could have been briefly a not contentious, but at least illuminating race has been sidelined. One prospective opposition challenger is in prison, the other is awaiting trial.
Right.
And even though candidates and authorities are urging Egyptians to come out and vote, the conclusion is a foregone one.
What influence would you say the war in neighboring Gaza has on the election?
So it's on everyone's minds, second only, and even then, not always to the economy. Some of that focus has been in favor of the incumbent president. We're seeing it from voters coming out of polling stations, from pro-Sisi media personalities who are honing in on the need for a strong hand to protect Egypt's interests. In terms of outcome, however, it's unlikely to affect the results much. Everyday Egyptians who could have focused on the elections a little bit more have been distracted, but not distracted, or they have had their focus shifted by the war. And even those that haven't are focused on the economy. Their savings have been slashed to shreds. They're scrambling to maintain their standard of living and unable to. Egyptians are tired and scared and they don't know what's coming. So it's natural that the elections are far from mind.
Right. AFP journalist Bahira Amin in Cairo. Thank you.